Welcome to Blue Tinted Glasses, the home of Leicester City talk on YouTube. Fan debates, live watch-alongs, post-match reactions, and all the Foxes banter you could ask for. Subscribe now and see the game through Blue Tinted Glasses.
Well then, Mahrez has made something of that. It's Mahrez! 2-0 to Leicester City!
Next to it, Anthony Canoca finds Wood. Wood should score. Wood West Canoca. Yes! Here comes Leicester again with Heskey and Ibbett. Oh, this is incredible. Got Jamie Vardy with him. Jamie Vardy sets off. Jamie Vardy!
Blue Tinted Glasses, the home of Leicester City talk on YouTube.
Good evening and welcome back to Blue Tinted Glasses for another news video. Latest news, latest rumours, whatever the hell you want to call it. This one, though, is called Ipswich Boost Leicester's PSR Hopes, which they have done to a certain degree. We're going to talk about it all in just a second. Before we do, Duck, what's going on, mate?
I'm doing good. I finally managed to get my hair cut, right? So it's nice to not have hair in my eyes while doing these shows. And it's been a phenomenal day. I'm playing a very good video game, Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door at the moment. Still got holiday. And Leicester, I mean, every time I open social media, I'm actually getting good news for once, right? I'm getting Casey McAteer. We've robbed Ipswich blind here. Fast rumored to go. Interest all of a sudden reignited in Victor Christiansen as well. Are we actually draining the swamp? Like, I'm positive today.
We're going to talk about everything you just mentioned. So there's a preview for it for everybody who's watching. By the way, everybody, make sure to get your comments in as well. Manny, welcome, mate. How are you this evening?
Good, excited. It seems like, last week, 10 days of the window, things are starting to move very, very quickly. It usually does around this time. Concentrates the mind, and we've seen a lot of links today, haven't we, of players leaving. So a lot of them come out of the blue. And one, not just a link, but, actually deal done over the line, finished, which is freakishly quick for a deal to get done. So the kind of makes you think that maybe one or two others could move along as well.
Well, as I said to you on the phone, Manny, other clubs, sometimes do get things done quickly when they're buying. It's just Leicester that don't seem to do it. But, we played a part in this one, and we're going to start by talking about it. Before we do, though, let's just see what some people are saying in the comments. This one here, I think, is going to be a theme of the video. Everyone must go. Drain the swamp. Ray says, pure profit for Casey. Good deal. Azza says we need to buy players. John Rudkin had his coffee today, says Fox Fanatics. Been quite a big day, FIFA King says. And Fox says, if Fast now goes to ooh la la, we'll talk about it very, very soon. Right, let's talk about it. Doc, we heard yesterday, wasn't it, from David Ornstein that Ipswich were negotiating a deal for Casey McAteer, and now we know it's all confirmed by both clubs and all of that he has been sold for £12 million guaranteed over 3 years.
And it could be rising to 14, right?
And it could go up another couple million, probably if they get promoted. You'd imagine something like that. But talk to me, Duck. How are you feeling about this one, mate? Because I know we've been quite vocal about it in group chats and stuff, saying we think it's a good deal.
It's a very good price. I'm not gonna lie. I would have taken a bit more than half of this, right? I would let's say we've got 7-8 million. I would have been chuffed with that, getting Casey off the books. Obviously Casey, a player I have nothing against, right? Hard worker, happy to play for the badge, academy lad, been here since he was 8. So I just sadly do not think he has the level to push us where we want to be in a few years' times, right? He's not, in that sense, part of the future, other than maybe a squad player who would come in every now and then. So to get £13 million guaranteed for him is a phenomenal piece of business. And especially in a position where we already have so many players, right? We don't need a direct replacement for him because we've got Evans, Di Cordova, Reed, and Wanya Masal. One of those three should be able to do the job of covering for Fatawu.
Yeah, just another bit of context as well, Manny. So $4 million a year for 3 years. That's what the guaranteed fee is, as most transfer deals are. They're done in instalments. But it's pure profit, as we know, because he's been here since he was a kid. So, yeah, how are you feeling about it, mate?
The world has gone mad, isn't it? But to be fair, that they robbed Forest with Amari Hutchinson for 37.5. So they probably got 50% more than they should have done. So it's only probably right that we get 50% more as a backup. It's the kind of world you live in. We know that they've just got a fortune for Murray Hutchinson. So someone at the club has really pushed for a decent fee, and we've got it over the line.
Yeah.
As Doug said, I would have agreed. I would have taken less than this. I think that valuation is more than fair. The structure of the deal is, like you said, everything's structured that way. When we go out and buy players, we'll probably structure it that way too. So I'm not too concerned with that. The 100% PSR on your books, being a homegrown player, fabulous. That gives you more room for manoeuvre. It means out of the budget that we've created, we have more of it to actually spend on replacements. And that's the important point, is rather than having a player who's sitting on the bench, coming on for 15, 20 minutes every now and then, we have the money to buy a first-teamer in other areas where we really need to strengthen.
There's a comment here that I want to bring up. Let me find it. Who was it who posted it? Here we go. Peter. He says, the McAteer deal shows how much we got done over by West Ham for Mad. So, according to the two price tags, Mad Simonsen's only worth, 5 million more than Casey McAteer. I mean, it does show. It does show that, and of course you do have the homegrown tax as well, right? Casey's homegrown, so that adds. You'd maybe say that adds a couple million onto his price tag, just being homegrown for the registration rules.
Yeah, it definitely adds a bit, right? And I think as well, what does surprise me is the fact that we've managed to pull that pants down, because they were, as known by Faes Maborusani, right? They were deep in negotiations with FC Nordsjælland for Sindre Valle Egli, a very promising player in the Danish Superliga, in discussion of paying over 20 million or about 20 million euros for him. So, they even had the other deal they could have tried and leverage against us, like we saw West Ham did with the Brazilian goalkeeper. But, I mean, it's Rocket who's negotiated this, right? Let's assume credit to him, because this, getting 12 mil guaranteed for Casey is phenomenal business. And he probably utilized the fact that he knew they needed strengthening on the right wing. And Casey is a steadily decent championship right winger who works incredibly hard and is, in that sense, someone the fans can't hate. Maybe for his footballing ability, but not for his work rate and desire.
Yeah, I mean, there's a comment here, Manny, from Tyler, who says, as a guy who literally has a McAteer jersey, even I can admit this is way more than I was expecting to get for him. Wouldn't put it past McKenna to get the most out of him, though. He does fit their system. I mean, this is true, Manny, but this is the same with any outgoing, right? Just because, he could go on and do something, good for Ipswich, but he wasn't doing that with Leicester, so that's why it's the right call to cash in. I've seen some calls today from some Leicester fans saying, maybe Kieran McKenna might try him out as a centre-forward, a striker, because I know some Leicester fans have been asking for that. But, why not? Why not? You never know how McKenna could nurture him, mate.
No, I mean, I suppose there's always that chance that he could go to levels that people didn't expect him to go to, and he kicks on. I have my doubts, and my assessment of Casey's pretty much the same as it was, from the early days. That he's a very hard-working. He'll apply himself all the time. He's really good defensively in harrying, trying to win the ball back, keeping shape. But when it comes to the attacking side of the game, he's just not as dynamic or as electric as other options out there like we have. I mean, there's three wingers who are clearly above the pecking order. Fatawi's on a completely different planet to Casey when it comes to attacking. Mavadidi's significantly better at attacking. And Jeremy Munger's a different planet, different universe. So this guy is, he does a job in certain times, mostly a sort of defensive-minded winger. He can chip up with the odd goal, so I get that. And he has improved, to be fair, in the last 12 months. I'll give that to him. But he's never going to be a player that's kind of, we always talk about the Premier League being a barometer, right? He's not going to be an excellent or a decent Premier League winger, in my opinion. I think he'll just be a solid Championship player, which is what he is. And I know you don't necessarily agree with the premise, but I think now that we've given him to one of our rivals, the fact that he wasn't good enough for us, but is deemed good enough for them, would suggest that either we've got it wrong or they've got it wrong. So one of us is going to suffer. I dare say that if he gets a lot of game time at Ipswich, they're not going to get the output that they're quite expecting. And therefore, it's a good meal for us.
The reason I disagree with... I was going to say, Doug, just really quickly, the reason I disagree with Manny's premise is because our wingers are better than Ipswich. So it might. You're saying it's going from Fatawu to McAteer, yes, is a downgrade. But for them, McAteer isn't a downgrade. It's just another player in their squad.
Put it this way. I'll reverse it. If you're looking for a right winger and you've got 12 to 14 million pounds to spend, are you buying Casey McAteer from Leicester?
No.
No.
You could have gotten better players.
There's your answer.
No, but that's what we're saying. We're saying they haven't got weaker.
They could have bought somebody better with that money.
Yes, absolutely.
The fact that they haven't bought somebody better and they bought effectively one of our unwanted players is a bonus for us, and it's going to be an issue for them because the quality isn't quite... Well, our judgment, for what it's worth, is that the quality isn't worth the money that they paid. So if you could spend that £12 million buying a better quality winger somewhere else, which we think we could find...
I hope Rob's not trying to tell me that these three are better than Mavididi and Fatawu. I hope you're not trying to say that, Rob.
I think he's just saying in terms of
maybe better than Casey,
being a big step up for them.
No. I think this was in response to me saying we have the better wingers, and he said,
then Rob,
behave.
sorry, you need to get you.
Oh, we definitely have the better wingers.
I mean, Fatawu and Manga and Mavididi are better than all three of those. Philogene, a victim of the English tax as well, right? They overpaid for him too. In their result to find another right winger who could
said that at the time, overpaid for Philogene. Good player, Philogene, but they overpaid.
Yeah, I remember you were quite crazy saying, "Oh, this is such a good signing for them. They got Jaden Philogene."
He's a good player, but that's too much money.
Philogene's a good. He's a good championship winger.
He's a good player.
He's good for the championship. Yeah.
But he's no Abdul Fatahu, and he's absolutely no Jeremy Monga. Let's get it straight. Jack Clark has only got 1 foot. He never ever touches his left foot. An often greedy player, overhyped. They overpaid there, in my opinion. Ogbene, I haven't seen so much, so I can't comment. But make no mistake, Fatawu and Monga particularly, arguably Mavididi too, but those first two, way superior to those three.
Yeah. Go on, Duck. I think you're going to say something more on that.
I'm trying to see if I can find it now, but sadly I'm struggling to find the article. But I do believe that in the article from David Ornstein about the transfer on the Athletic, it was mentioned as well that Marty didn't see him having a big future here, right? Quite clearly didn't fit the fluidity that Marty's system required, and these 1-2 touch and make the different runs. He's a hard worker. I think every single Leicester fan will wish Casey the best of luck, an academy lad, right? But there is no doubt that this was something the manager is fine seeing leave. We're getting a great fee for him. It opens up the spot for some of the younger players to step in, or someone else to fill the gap. Remember, this is a backup for Fatawu, right? You won't be starting nearly every single game. So getting 12 mil in the championship for a player who we won't really mind losing is absolutely incredible.
And don't forget the you've already mentioned it, but it's so important, homegrown player, how it looks on your books for PSR. So it might be 12, 14 million, but doesn't it count double if it's homegrown? So it's like a 20 million plus sale, isn't it?
I have no idea how those calculations.
I don't think it's.
I just know there is no transfer fee. You've paid for them, right? So you're getting pure profit in the sense that
you don't deduct the transfer fee that you paid for the players. So
but you see this all the time. You see a lot of clubs now selling homegrown play, and it's sad. It is sad.
Yeah, that needs to be fixed. It shouldn't.
Yeah, but
it's sad when the player is somebody you want to retain, but it's not sad when you don't see a long-term future with that player.
You're incentivized to sell, aren't you? You're incentivized to sell homegrown because it's better.
But you're also incentivized to develop, you would argue. They give you a reason to develop players because it counts more on your books when you do sell them.
I mean, look at Elliot Anderson from Newcastle. They had to sell him. We obviously sold Keane and Dewsbury Hall. Harvey Barnes as well. You forget as well. He was homegrown. And there's some Chelsea, Chelsea have done a load of them, of course, as well, but, they've always done that. Another homegrown player is Victor Christiansen. Not Victor Christiansen, Luke Thomas, should I say.
Yeah, Luke Thomas.
There's one that we could get off the books. But no.
Look, 24 hours ago, we did the show yesterday, and I said that there's two players that are glaring out that I would sell, Casey being one and Luke Thomas being the other. Luke Thomas is he in his last year, I think? He's in his last year. Yeah. He is. Under no circumstances should we be giving him a new contract. So you either lose him for a year for nothing, like so many others we've lost for nothing, or we take 5 million for him now. Take the 5 million. We don't need him this season. We don't need him at all this season. I'd sell Victor too. And now if you sell both of the left backs, Victor's been linked with Forest, I believe. You sell both those. And if you could get, say, 10 plus for Victor and 5 for Thomas, that's £15 million. And like you said, 5 million of it going down as a homegrown player.
Yeah.
We've got ammunition to buy a quality replacement.
Yeah, let me read this to you. Casey McAteer has just done a goodbye post on Instagram. So he says, where do I start? Leicester City has been a part of my life for the last 16 years. It's all I've known since the age of 8. I want to thank everyone at the club, the managers I've worked with, all the coaches, the medical team, and everyone else behind the scenes, including my host family, parents who took me in as a 14-year-old boy. I will be forever grateful for the opportunities given to me to play for this amazing club and the memories only a small few can dream of. Thank you to my teammates for the most amazing memories. It was an honour to share the dressing room and the pitch with you all. I have made friends here that will last me a lifetime. To all you fans, thank you for taking me in as one of your own. From being a fan myself in the stands to being sat on a stall as a ball boy or a stool, you do make a difference. So keep supporting the boys and the club as it helps us all strive towards success. I wish nothing but the best for the club and the fans. I'll be hoping that the club returns to where it belongs. Lastly, thank you to Con Top and his family for all the support, belief and the inspiration you've given me to be a better person and player. From my very first day to the last, I always knew what it meant to wear the shirt. Leicester as a city and as a club will always hold a special place in myself and my family's hearts. I'll never forget this place. Thank you. So there you go.
Message.
Now I feel like an asshole. You know?
Wow.
You don't have to,
No,
right? I think it's just very clear not to be disrespectful about him as a person, right?
And
You can put nothing down on his character and the way he's acted towards the club.
Absolutely correct. His attitude's always been magnificent. His application on the pitch has always been magnificent. The question mark has never been about his attitude or his desire or his work rate. So many of those things that fans always want to see in every kind of player. He always puts out his work rate high. He's always doing his best for the team. He's a very much a team squad player. So from that point of view, it is a good signing for Ipswich, and totally wish him all the best. And I hope he watches this one day, sticks a middle finger up to me and others who say it's a good deal for Leicester, and say, I'll show you that you guys made a mistake selling me.
Just a couple non-Leicester City things very quickly. So Everton have agreed a fee of 42 million for Tyler Dibbling.
Crazy.
So there's the first one. 42 million for Tyler Dibbling. The other bit of news is, from what I'm reading as well now, this whole Nottingham Forest Nuno stuff, it's serious, and I think he's going to go. Nuno. Apparently, there's a big rift at Forest between Nuno and Edu, the former Arsenal technical director. Apparently, it was, they were signing players without Nuno's say, which wasn't a surprise. They did it with Cooper as well when they got promoted. Although I did laugh because, Manny, you'll like this one. There was a big thing about, apparently Nuno wanted to sign Adama Traore. Like, he was just set on signing Adama Traore, and Edu said, ain't happening. It ain't happening. We are not signing Adama Traore.
Do you mean a director of football stepping in to stop the manager?
Yeah. And then they signed Douglas Luiz, and apparently Nuno didn't want that. Nuno didn't want Douglas Luiz, and they've signed Douglas Luiz. So that's why does he just have
negative talent ID? Like, what are we doing here? Luckily for them, though, I think. Let's hope it brings them some turmoil, right? I think probably they can get a better manager. I've never really been too high on Forest.
They'll go for Big Ange. They're going to go for
Big Ange. Well, they'll be chaotic to watch then, and maybe it'll be hopefully a little less successful than his spell at Tottenham. Or in the league, I would like them if they just do a little bit worse. And
Wolfie didn't like to hear it when I told them they'll bottle it when they were third, and you could see it coming, and they could see their decline coming, because they won't be able to hold on to Murillo or even Milenkovic for too much longer. Wood's getting older. Amari Hutchinson is a shocker of a purchase. That is an absolute shocker. You replace Elanga with Hutchinson, you are going to see a drop-off in performance. So maybe Marinakis has got some more rabbits to pull out the hat, but surely Nuno knows. It's the Marinakis way, and that's it. What's the point in arguing with the guy? You're not going to get anywhere.
Just in response to Rob, we're all expecting Fatawi won't leave this summer. It would cost too much money for a club just off the back of an ACL. Leicester would demand a big fee. Next summer, I think he'll go.
The only chance he goes is if out of nowhere someone like Enzo pops in, which we don't think he will because they bought Jamie Gittins and they've already got about 50.
And they're getting
others.
Xavi Simons too, right? By the looks of things.
But if if a mega club came in and went for him, then likelihood is we wouldn't be able to stand in the way. But so far, teams like Sunderland or Everton, with all due respect to those clubs, they are nowhere near the kind of club that Fatawa will move on to eventually.
Yeah. Right, let's move on. So up next, we're going to discuss this one here. And in the last kind of 3-4 hours, Wout Faes, a player who's been twerking to leave Leicester for a while. He's had a bit of controversy recently with the fans, getting booed, obviously, when he comes on and then giving some shit back. Duck, Besiktas coming in for seconds after they got Wilfred Ndidi. They are interested now. For the next two players, including Faes, ignore the market value. It's just an estimate. But, Doc, I mean, if we're sticking with the Drain the Swamp theme, I imagine, Faes is probably near the top of the list to get rid of.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is no doubt in my mind that he's a top defender for the championship, but I really do not care. Like, I think if we are to have the change and be able to look forward, I'd rather see some hungrier, maybe even slightly worse, but with higher potential, come in the door now, if we sell out Faes at centre-back, who'll play for the badge, right? I think coming on, being booed by your fans, he's been twerking to leave. Like, he even did so under Enzo, up until Enzo then convinced him, or he wanted to leave when we got relegated, then Enzo came in and his mind was changed by the system we were playing and the football, right? So, like, he wanted to stay, but initially said he wanted to leave, right, as we got relegated. So, he's wanted out for a long time. I think we just need to cut ties with all these like bad memories, in my opinion, of the past, right? Of these past few seasons, 2 relegations, and Wout Faes is a big step for that, and hopefully we can get around the market value for him. I think 10 mil will be fine.
Yeah, I mean, Manny, like Doug said, like as a championship defender, we know that he's more than capable, but not only the wages, because he's on the historic Premier League wages, right? That we signed under Brendan Rodgers, but also it's toxic. It's toxic, and as long as he's at the club, Marty is going to use him because he's one of the better centre backs at the club. But I just think it's the relationship between him and the fans. It's you can't repair it.
Yes.
It's toxic, and I think you just need to get rid.
I think if he stayed, he would definitely be one of the better centre-backs in the league. There's no doubt about that. I think it's not a question of his ability in this league. However, should we go up, we're in the same boat as we've been twice before already. So do we want to take the money now or try and hold on for another year and hope he helps us get up and then take the money, or see how it goes? There comes a point in every player, their relationship with the fans or with the club, where it's just better for both parties if we part ways. And that's where we are with him. I think he would like to go. I don't think he's particularly like being singled out or being booed. And fair play, nor would I. But at the same time, the fans are like, well, mate, you deserve it. So, you're going to keep getting it until you go. He's actually been pretty good for our 2-3 games this season. So there is a worry in that. I think that's somebody we need to replace in the squad. But £10 million, I think I agree with that. Appropriate number. I think they're getting a solid player from their point of view for that money. We're getting a fair fee. And it's not just about the quality of the player. The dressing room needs an overhaul. We need new voices, new faces, new languages, new attitudes, a fresh energy. Everything has got stagnant. It's gotten a little bit toxic at times. And we saw with the Jeremy Monga stuff, there's something not right in the dressing room if all of you aren't bundling the 16-year-old, right? If that's not happening, then something isn't perfect. Because if it was...
In fairness, Faes did.
Yeah, and he did. And fair play to him. And I pointed that out yesterday. And he did. But generically speaking, we just need a turnover of bodies, of voices, of faces, him being one of them. And I'm sure he would do a good job for them. And we have opportunities to buy others. And I was very much amused that my recommendation for a replacement for a centre-back got a red card yesterday night in the Champions League game.
It was funny because you were going on about it all stream and then it fucking happened.
Yeah, he got a red card. I thought he was all right, actually, but did get a red card. Duck and I
disagree. He got destroyed.
Soft 2 yellows.
The second one was correct, man. He stopped a dangerous attack, and obviously the greatest striker to ever live.
Hey, look,
Yusuf Moukoko played on it.
Sometimes you've got to take a yellow for the team, right? That's what he did.
Yeah, but not when it can cost you a red, mate.
Yeah, but hey,
He's
look,
out,
they didn't-
especially he's out now for the second leg, and they play in Parken, which
true.
you know Barca are going to get
hey,
fucking
look,
giga
brilliant,
stomped.
cheaper. We get him cheaper now.
Yeah, we'll get him cheaper because they'll miss
I
Champions
think
League
the
and have to
overriding-
raise revenue.
Before we go on, but the overriding point is this is definitely one that, look, we don't need to replace Casey, okay? We've got Wanya, we've got Bobby, we've got RU that can cover there, we've got Jake Evans that can cover there, we've got Alves that could cover an emergency, plus we've got the three first choice anyway. We don't need wingers. We do need a centre-back. We do need midfielders. I think we might need two. Yeah. And we absolutely, most importantly, need a striker. So I think we're still short 4 players. And fast leaving means one of those. He's going to be one of the replacements.
Yeah, I don't know. It's. Let me just bring this comment up here. Ryan says, "Take the money. Fast can get as far away from the club as possible. He can be good at this level we are at, but he isn't interested in being a player or being that player. Too much water under the bridge with Fast. Too toxic to repair." And a quick one here from Josh. 200 watching, 30 likes. Come on, everyone. Just 2 seconds of your time. Hit the like button. Right, let's move on. Let's move on because yet again, another one, in the words of DJ Khaled. Here's the next one. And it is Victor Christiansen today. We were talking about Nuno and Forest. Victor Christiansen, for the second time this window, has been linked with Nottingham Forest. Again, I've put a £10 million price tag there. That's hit and miss. We don't know how much he would go for. But Duck, what do you think to this one, mate? Because you know how the Leicester fans feel about Victor Christiansen. He's obviously not played a single competitive game so far this season because of an injury. Marty said the other day that he's a few weeks away. But Forest are interested. What do you think to this one, mate?
Yeah, I think it's worth mentioning, right, as well, that the rumor about this is not as reliable as, let's say, Fabricio is, right, about the Fast deal. But we'll see. Yeah. I think I'd hate to see him go to Forest. I'd be happy to see him leave to a club, right, except for, one of the teams I really do not like. I think he'd do a good job in Championship. Never gotten the chance to prove it.
Would you buy a VK Forest shirt?
Oh, no, they'd never. I would never. But I'd buy a Denmark shirt with his name on. No, I won't change.
He's never playing for Denmark, is he, again?
I think he probably will. We are pretty thin on left backs. It's him and Patrick Dorgo. But my main point is, as the water bottle goes, I think I think we should sell him. I just don't want to see it to Forest, man. That's probably the way I should phrase it. I think we could get a decent bit of money for him. But then all of a sudden, we need to start looking at the left backs as well, especially if JJ goes too. And
left back, easy. Get the guy from Preston. Absolutely.
No, you can't. He's just signed for them. Just signed for them.
Oh, so what?
Wait.
Offer them an amount of money that they can't refuse.
No, because he can
refuse.
He can only play for 2 teams in a calendar year. So.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's the rule. That's the rule.
You got me there.
But January next summer, who knows? Thierry Small, you're referring
Thierry
to? Yeah,
Small. Thierry Small. Can you come to Leicester, please? We like you a lot.
You're good.
You are good. You're good.
I know another one who can play left back, Daniel Bamei.
Right back. Yeah, look, I've got Darlin Youngwa.
Right back and left back.
Darlin Youngwa from Lorient, available for about 4 million. It's a good shout. Very electric, very forward thinking. I think if we are going to look at fullbacks, if we did sell, VK or Thomas, and we are going to buy a replacement, and JJ we might come to in a bit as well. Can we go down the road of dynamic attacking fullbacks again? I always thought when we were at our best when we had Chilwell and we had Ricardo bombing down the wing, doing their effects. I remember Chilwell in the second leg against Atletico when he came on as sub. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. But we had mobile fullbacks that would get down there and help our wingers. At the moment, our wingers are having to do it all by themselves. They don't have underlapping 8s. They don't have supporting fullbacks. So if we are going to replace those fullbacks, somebody who's dynamic.
Sorry, there was like 3 fire engines flying down my street. Just because somebody asked in the chat, I was going to mention, and I completely forgot. Just very quickly on the Fast one, I did see his current book value is £6 million. Wout Faes, which is obviously the transfer fee spread over the duration of the contract. So, and there's 2 years left. So yeah, £6 million is his value. So as long as you get over 6, it's a profit on for the PSR books. With Victor, you did mention it, Doc, but I can't see Thomas going this window. I can't see it happening. I know. I agree with Manny. We should, with 1 year left, or even in January maybe. But I just feel like the managers that have been here over the last couple of years, just for some reason, like him. I heard from Rob Tanner last year that off the record, he had an off the record chat with Steve Cooper, and Steve Cooper said, "I love Thomas. I love him. I love his how he applies himself. I love." Yeah, I know, crazy.
That's why you get the sack, mate. Honestly, you haven't got. You just
He's
can't
that kind of
tell.
footballing clue.
How
man.
can you not tell?
And it was the same with Ruud, who played him at centre back at one point, left centre back.
Why you got the sack too?
And now
I don't want Marty to be a third in the row that thinks him or Vestergaard is any kind of solution, because they'll get you the sack too.
Well, let's see how it goes with Marty when Ricardo and JJ are both fit at the same time, because I feel like JJ will be the guy on the left. However, Doc, so far he's playing games this season, so I think we won't sell both. Is what I'm trying to say. It'll be one or the other.
Yeah, it'll only be one of them. I think so too, and I don't usually rather keep VK, but I do think he's worth more money too. The problem is then obviously Luke Thomas's contract will run out at the end of the season, and hopefully we don't extend that. But that would mean another player leaving on a free, right? So if we could get 5 mil for Thomas right now, I'd be very pleased with that. But I think VK would be nice to see him leave if we could get decent money for him. I believe we are close to that point where we should have some money to reinvest a bit in the squad now as well. And, 1 or 2 more 10 million signings, we should definitely have a bit then to play around with. So I'd be open to essentially basically everyone, whoever we get a good offer in to leave, right? Except for Taru and Monga. I think they're the only two really on luck.
Don't. I'm going to say it again. I don't think there's a chance now that we're going to link with all these exits. Don't you dare sell for Taru. Not just because I've put him on the back of my shirt.
They won't.
But I'm serious. Like, if you do that, you'll take the soul out of this team. Like, you'll take the fun, the joy, one of the 2 major reasons to smile about this squad is for Taru. Don't you dare. And I've stopped saying next summer, putting ideas into people's heads. We need him to keep us up in the Premier League once we get there too. I want to see Abdul play for us for another 2, 3, 4 years. He's got 4 years left on his contract. Extend it another 4 years on top. An 8-year deal, please.
King Leicester says, love him, but Ricky P cannot be relied on to even play 20 games a season. Man is made of glass. Richard says, I know for a fact Thomas has turned down a 3-year deal in the summer. Well, so we offered him a 3-year deal. If that's true,
thank God
crazy.
he turned that down. Thank God.
But the fact that we've offered it, if it's
no
true,
way in hell he turned down a 3-year deal. No chance in hell.
Well, I did hear he was pretty pissed off in January that we rejected the bid for him. I heard that Hertha Berlin, I think it was, or someone like that, offered Hoffenheim.
Should have gone there.
They offered 3 million. I heard that he was quite pissed off that we rejected that bid. Well, it's what I heard, and it lines up. So yeah. But anyway, Peter says, I don't think Ricardo will last in the fullback role under Marty. He needs to play in a 6 for the sake of his legs. We'll see. I mean, he's definitely staying.
I'll say we haven't touched upon that, but you know what? A lot of our goals have come also down the right-hand side too, or fullback areas, both sides actually. I know we focused on Thomas a lot. But you saw Hamza giving away a penalty down the right-hand side. We saw down the right-hand side Thierry Small getting the better of... Was it JJ he got the better of? Got the better of JJ, I think it was. So we are, around those fullback areas, teams are starting to pick off and causes a problem. So the fullback thing is not really something that we've looked at too much in terms of, are they... we've got a lot of fullbacks with Woyo, Ricardo, Ricky, Thomas, VK. There's 5 at least. But how many of these are actually going to be good enough this season for us to help us get promoted?
Doc, how do you think Victor would do in this Marty system, in that role that Thomas has been playing, kind of inverting into the half space?
He would be all right. I mean, he would be better at Thomas at that role, right? I think he has more of an engine on him to run up and down the pitch. He can attack the half space. He's used to doing the overlap, but it would be pretty similar making the underlap, right? He does make some decent crosses. He's left-footed as well to get it in, right? We saw that one attack me analysed from Monk where he played it out, and JJ made the run in behind on the underlap. So he could definitely make that run. I still think, obviously, you could buy better players out there on the market. I'm not in denial about that. I think Badio Luca would do better at that too, to be honest, from what we've seen of him. But
Look, here's the truth of it, right? Anybody who we get half decent bid for, apart from Fatawu and Munga, you can go. Like, there has to be a decent bid though. If we get a decent bid for VK, you can go. Decent bid for Thomas, you can go. JJ, you can go.
Ricky,
you can go. If you get a good bid for him. If AC Milan offer 20 plus,
even with this stage, 9 days to go. Because Manny, at some point, and I know you disagree, but at some point, it is too late.
The only worry is if you're going to sell one centre back in Faes already, if you start selling two, then trying to find one replacement, a good replacement, is one issue. But trying to find two is you're making it harder for yourself. So again, but you're right. If a good bid comes in for anybody, then you take it. And particularly if somebody is peripheral, like it's not as if VK is a stalwart. It's not as if Luke Thomas is a stalwart. We can let these players go. There are alternatives that you can buy for less money than you can sell these players for. Like, remind me, how did Preston get Thierry Small?
I can't remember. Go on.
Free transfer from Charlton this summer. He's 21-year-old on a free. His wages must be 10 grand a week, if that. And he's better than any of our left back options. He was there available. we obviously we missed out on that one, but that just goes to illustrate that there are good players out there if you look hard enough.
You're so reactionary, by the way. I'm not saying he's crap. I'm just saying off one game to say he's better than all of our left backs.
You know what it is? It's not just the defending. A, he's massive, Thierry Small. He's a big lad. 2, he's bloody quick for a big lad.
Yeah, absolutely.
3, he's one of the few fullbacks I've seen shut down Abdul every single time. Abdul couldn't get past him once. But not just that. Their goal, their winner, was from Thierry Small charging down the wing, and look at the delivery on the left foot. So when he was running at pace, he was able to put in a delicious ball with his left foot when he's running at speed. And that was a brilliant ball in for the winner, by the way. So the guy can defend, the guy can attack. He's massive, he's 21, he's on low wages. Hey, if you can shut down Fatawu, you're good enough for me.
Yeah. Okay, right. But no, I was just gonna say, like, with all of these rumours, Doc, of course it's great to see the swamp being drained. Of course it's great to see wages off the books and toxic players go. But there is a concern, and that is that there's 9 days to go. And so far, as far as we're aware, there's no deals that are close to being done for incomings. That's a concern for me.
I understand that, and I would to an extent agree, but I will say as well, these things can happen quickly, right? Out of nowhere, boom, something is very close to being done and it gets finalized the next day, right? So we still have time. Let's say if in a week's time we're in the same boat, I will be nervous, but yeah, I wouldn't be panicking just yet. We can wrap something up pretty quickly if they work hard enough. And by the looks of things, it seems like with all the interest in our players and how deals are progressing, it seems like we are now, working a little bit harder behind the scenes to ship off Deadwood and trim the squad. So hopefully things pops up and they can make it work even in the short space of time we have left.
Yeah. There was something to bring this up as well. If we don't buy anyone and just do a few loans, do you think the club is up for sale? I mean, I do think the club's up for sale, but not like that they're push. I think they're open to
very
offers.
Open for bids. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
The club is not up for sale whilst we're in the Championship. Not unless things are so dire at King Power that they literally have nothing left to sell. But they're not going to sell it when it's in a distressed situation. You're going to undervalue the club by like 70%. It's just not going to happen.
But think of the money. In a way, they could be asset stripping right now.
They could be asset stripping, hoping we go up and then do a sale next summer, maybe. And we'll find out maybe in the next 9 days, because you can't sell now this volume of players without getting some reinforcements in.
I was going to say, would you agree then, Manny? Let's say we lose Faes and Bilal, and we don't bring anyone in. Would you then say, okay, this is bad?
I'd say that's very concerning. Very concerning. I think so. It comes to a point where you can let some players go, but it all depends on your replacements. I don't think we need to replace Casey because we've already got enough personnel in that area. But Faes, if you drop him, Wilf. Well, I think the issue is we keep speaking about fullbacks, we spoke about centre-backs, we spoke about wingers. What we're not really speaking about is in the middle of the park. I think that's our big issue that we're not talking about enough. In that Wilf has gone. Wilf has been around part of the furniture for 9 years. We're seeing how open we are on the transition without Wolf and his... without Wilf being a Wolf in defence. You know, all of his tackling, all of his blocks, all of his sticking the leg, is that long legs out, nicking the ball away. Booba doesn't do that, and we know there are no long legs with skipping wings.
Yeah.
With the Oompa Loompa brothers, there's no defending. So we have a problem in midfield, defensive midfield, also attacking midfield and getting to the box. And we haven't mentioned his name so far this stream tonight, but more and more, Lewis Page is going to become an important player for this team, but you can't put it all down to him. He's a 17-year-old lad. He can't play 40 games. And Skip's not doing it. Winks linked with Valencia, let him go. Booba, at what point do you give up on Booba? You know, at what point do you say there's a player there,
After
but
this
he's not
year,
trying?
because his contract runs out, right? Hopefully.
The point is,
he's someone as well. Hopefully we can get
was
somebody
dependable.
off him,
We
right?
don't have anyone there who's dependable.
I agree. I think that's the main position for me, is getting a number 6, like a destroyer who can make those tackles, because we are sorely lacking in that area now. And then comes the striker position, in my opinion. But yeah, I think it's very much a we'll see, right? We can see how quickly things can change. Just go 2 days back, we were, I'd say desperate to still offload players. But yeah, there are plenty of free agents still available though. Like the Brownhill comment you just put up. But like Brownhill's still available. There are plenty more as well. I mentioned his name before, but Christian Eriksen is like, there are many good players still available on a free.
Apparently Brownhill turned down 90k a week to stay in the Premier League with Burnley. What is it going to take?
I don't think it was 90. I think that was fake news. It wasn't 90.
Fake?
Yeah. I think it was like his... I think they were offering him the same wage, no increase. But it was more like 60, I want to say, 50, 60. Something like that a week.
He would want 80. He would want a Connor Cody, Harry Winks contract to come to Leicester. I don't want to give that to anyone.
Let's wait and see what happens with that. He's now linked with the move to Saudi, apparently, Josh Brownhill. So we'll see.
It's your final contract. Your motivation is not money.
It's not his final contract. He's 29.
Well,
he's 29.
It's your final big one. It's your final big one. Your focus is not a promotion campaign or meeting new teammates. It's cold, hard cash. You are a journeyman player. It's your last big chance to earn big dollars. I mean, Saudi's not surprised. His agent must be going there. Can you hook me up with a Saudi contract, please? This is not the kind of guy we want to get in the room. Avoid Brownhill.
Yeah, I think it's harsh to try and paint him as somebody who's all about money and maybe.
No, I don't mean it like that.
Great.
I mean, it's natural.
Like his attitude, he's got a great attitude on the pitch.
So did Winks
he is one of them
until we got him.
players. Not necessarily.
So did Vestergaard until we got him. So did Bertrand.
Bertrand
Bertrand played for England.
It's not necessary. I don't agree with that so much. But anyway,
there comes a point in all these journeymen's career when you don't really have anything that gets you excited anymore. You're not competing for anything. It's cold,
he's not
hard
a journeyman. I don't think you know who Josh Brownhill is.
He's been sitting at Burnley for like 6 years, hasn't he?
He's played for 2 clubs in 10 years. It's not really a journeyman.
But in terms of like yo-yoing between the leagues, he's never been a solid Premier League player, has he?
You're off your head sometimes. You're so unfair.
Lost the plot there, taking the piss.
Right,
we need better.
We're going to talk about we're just going to touch on the striker situation. So a rumor that we've had coming in is Mihailo Ivanovic, the Millwall number 9. Now he was valued earlier in the window at 13 million. I can't remember which team it was that was sniffing around. I think it was some European team.
Parma or something, right?
Parma, yeah. And I think they bid like 7 million or something, and Millwall said no, 13. But this is one that's been a very unreliable source. The Peter O'Rourke is he Footy Insider, Doc? Peter O'Rourke, or is he something else?
I don't know, man. I know it's just
one of them.
Not the most reliable one.
Yeah.
But I'll say this: when I listened to
like
podcast, I had there was a few shouts that he could even be top scorer in the championship this season.
Yeah.
20 years old. Haven't seen too much of him, but by the looks of things and early impressions, and the reviews he got before he was even linked with Leicester by just general championship watchers and enjoyers, was that this would be a coup if we managed to get him. So let's see. It'll be interesting to see if this develops.
I also don't think it will happen just because of the price tag. I don't think we're going to spend £13 million on any player this summer.
I doubt it, but let's say we sell Bilal. I think that's the way you should structure the deal properly, right? Because we have to remember how you structure it. Maybe they get something that they structured and it's like, 11 million with like maybe then 4 in add-ons, right? Some of that being a promotion or who knows. But it could be a complicated deal to do, though, which would very likely mean it won't happen with John Rotkin. But
as you said, 20 years old. He's highly rated. He's got, he's scored all types of different goals, by the way. I've seen him. I was watching some highlights yesterday, scoring headers, quite good in the air. Trivella. He did a Trivella volley, if you know what a Trivella is, Manny.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that goal. I wasn't overly impressed with that, but
oh yeah, I bet. Yeah,
look, he's 6'3", I think, right? Is he 6'3"? He's 20. Is he 20? 20 years
20
old?
years old. 20 years old.
So he's still got a bit of growth to do. He looks like he can move. The first thing you think of when you think 6'3" is he a scarecrow, or can he actually move? He looks like he can move a bit. He can move a bit, which is good. Lots of growth. The fee seems a bit high from what I've seen, but that's just the world that we live in. If you want a player, then you're going to get your pants pulled down to some extent. We do it to others. It happens to us too. But we definitely need a striker. Absolutely. We were linked with a guy from Luton a while ago. Not Adebayo, not Elijah. It's another one. He's a winger stroke striker. I think he scored 4 goals in he scored 6 in his last 6 in the last season for Luton when they went down.
Adebayo?
No, it's a different one. I'll come back to me. We were linked with him a couple of months ago, I think. I think his name's like Ali or something. His surname's Ali. Anyway,
Luton striker.
Yeah, I'm sure he's definitely.
Milenic Ali.
Milenic Ali. Yeah, I like the look of him. And he's supposed to be like 4 million or something. Look, we need somebody. Okay, I haven't looked at this boy closely enough. I haven't seen him closely enough to know, but we definitely need somebody. And it's at the stage where I'd rather take a gamble somewhere along the line than just, you cannot leave us with Ayew and Daka. It's not enough.
Yeah. We've seen it this, in the opening 3 games, haven't we, Duck? Like, yes, Ayew has his pros, he has his positives, but he's just not that clinical number 9 in the box, is he?
Not yet at the very least.
But he's not getting any better.
Even if so, I mean, the thing is, we've seen 2 games, right? So, won't sit and judge a whole season, but we'll need someone else for the future, regardless, because Ayew sold, his contract is running out at the end of the year. So, regardless, you need to start planning and looking for, a long-term successor in the striker position. And if you sign someone this window, or just try and plug the gap for now, and then buy someone better if you get promoted, right? A younger, better talent, but. It's definitely a position that needs to be looked at, so we'll see.
The one thing I say is, when we watch his clips, is we can get the ball out wide and we can get crosses in, but we don't have anyone who's really going to head those crosses in. So I'm trying to think of this guy like a young, mobile Chris Wood type player. And if we can get the ball to him, if Fatawu and Monga and Mavididi can get the ball in, then this boy has the ability to finish in the air. He looks strong, he can hold it up, he can lay it off, he can turn on the ball, as we've seen here. He's still a bit raw and there's a bit clumsy at times, but there is something to work with this player, no doubt. And heading-wise, in the air, that's what my point is. Getting on the end of crosses, I think Fatawu, he could put so many. His crossing needs to get better, but he's got the ability of beating his man. He can get a ball in, but can somebody get on the end of it? Ayew's not good enough. He's short. Daka's never been good in the air. Daka's never been good anywhere. But who's good aerially and at set pieces, another area that we've struggled with for many, many years. It would be nice to add another bit of height for our set pieces, defensive and attacking.
Yeah. I like the look of him, Duck. I think he does suit what I think he would suit Marty's system and how Marty likes to play as well. I mean, we saw as well at QPR. He did like to use a bigger, a larger striker as well. But this guy can do it all. When I say all, I mean in terms of he can drop deep. You can see him here in tight spaces and laying it off, but also finishing. And as Manny said, in the air, I think he's actually brilliant. He doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't leap as such, but he just gets his. He gets flicks
timing.
on it and gets in.
Timing.
Yeah, timing exactly. And I think. I think it would be a good fit for us, to be honest. I don't know about you, Doc. Yeah.
I think so too. If we have the money to spend, that's the big question, right? The one we've had all summer. If we have the money to spend on them, there are plenty of players who I think out there who could be great signings. This does look one of them.
It's the right age. It's one of those ones where at that age, if it doesn't work out, you get half your money back, and if it does work out, you get 4 times your money. And that's the kind of general rule you want to be looking at. You'll always find somebody else who's willing to try and take him on. Look, Victor Christiansen's 22. We're nearly getting 60-70% of what we paid back for him. There'll always be someone willing to take on a promising young player, even if they don't work out. I'm just glad we're not being linked with some old dude who's sitting on a bench in the Premier League, like Craig Dawson or God knows what else. Or think of some old striker. Maybe we'll get Elson Edouard again this year. Who knows? Might do something insane like that. But young, usual, talented, room for growth, all the stuff that we always go on about, that's the way to go.
Yeah. Let's see what some people in the comments are saying here about Ivanovic or anything else. Just some striker names that are on expiring deals. George Pascal from Villarreal, Afonso Petrao, Kiao, whatever his name is, Tom Van Bergen from Groningen. Did you not see our crosses last weekend? They were absolutely terrible. Yeah, that's true. Fatawu needs to play whipped crosses, not thrashing at the ball. You say that, but Daka was 21 when we signed it. Yeah, I mean, look, I always say this because I love to criticise the board and all of that and Rudkin, but I don't blame them for the Daka thing because he was very, very highly rated. He was sought after. There were lots of clubs after Patson Daka that summer, and we got him, and we were all buzzing at the time. I don't actually blame him at all. Same as Samari. I remember speaking to Anil, and Anil was telling, I think it was Anil or Manny, one of the two, said that somebody they know is in football. Analyst or whatever, and they said that all the data suggested Samari was going to be incredible, and it just turned out not to be the case. So, and he scored a lot of goals in Austria, right? Patson Daka, he scored a lot of goals.
Yeah, he scored a lot of goals.
It's important to recognise though why those on paper signings failed, and to very, very, very simply put why Daka failed because his first touch is horrible and he's not physical enough. Samari failed because his mentality isn't right. It wasn't a problem with Buba's ability, but it was a problem with Daka's ability. But you say both of those signings, on paper they look good. Well, I think Buba's the one it's harder to get wrong because you don't know if the guy's going to have a bad mentality, until he's in the room and you see it week after week. But with Daka, you can watch clips and tell that his first touch isn't good. As soon as you see some player doesn't have a first touch, then you shouldn't be signing them. It's not just about speed. People think I'm obsessed with speed. It's not true. You need to have high speed, but it has to be under control. At what point does he have the ball under control? He doesn't. Never has. You're muted.
Yeah, muted, mate.
Sorry, this one, Duck, is going on, continuously. We've seen photos of him today in training and stuff. He obviously put out his little cryptic Instagram post as well the other day about whatever happens or something along those lines. I don't know, I can't remember what it said, but are we still as confident that he's going to leave? I'll start with you, Duck.
I think he's playing tomorrow, and then I don't know.
You think he will play tomorrow?
I think he'll play tomorrow. By the looks of things, he's in training. Maybe he won't start, but if we're struggling in the game, he'll definitely come on. That's just with how we've been with our players recently, right? James Justin playing while on the verge of a transfer to Leeds. We don't know what the status of that is. Hermansen Lead playing a game a few days before he went as well. So, I with how we have been, it wouldn't surprise me if he plays. And for Bilal, I think he will still go. I hope we get a good fee for him. I think the 32 million pound would be fine. And it would be much needed and will definitely mean we can reinvest a bit into the squad. And if you spread that on, maybe a centre back if you sell fast as well, the destroyer in the number 6 position we need, and then a striker, I wouldn't mind.
Manny's still going to go, Bilal?
Yeah, I think so. It's last week, and everyone's going to play a game of silly buggers about trying to knock the price down. But now potentially Spurs might come back into the equation with them, getting humiliated over Eze. Fans will be calling out for a signing. Bilal is there, he's available. You'll be able to get that over the line. It's not going to cost you quite the Eze money. Palace, I don't know why they're faffing. Maybe they're just waiting for the Eze stuff to be signed off and all done, go through until they do it. But we always say the last week of the window, that is where you get a lot of movement. It's probably more movement in the last week than the previous 4 weeks. So we've seen today in one day, we've already had like 4 different links with players leaving or other players being linked. It concentrates the mind. All those people are like, yeah, I'm half interested in him, half interested in that player. You actually have to start moving and getting things done. We just hope that the movement isn't just one way in terms of outgoings. So far as it stands, I think we've only still signed Begovic this summer. Is that right?
Yep. Let me press this, and there we go. Yep.
We need a catalyst. We need a new spark. We need a new bit of energy. It's the spine of the team as well, which is almost the worrying bit. We need a striker, a central midfielder, and a centre back. The wider areas, I think we've still got cover, even in the fullback areas. Or we can skip playing fullbacks. That's the other thing. Enzo didn't really love playing fullbacks too much. He wanted to go to a different way of doing things. So I think lots to move. And don't forget the loan market. That loan market, this is where players who are hoping to make the Chelsea squad or the Man City squad or the Liverpool squad, they didn't quite make it there. I would love, this is cheeky and I don't think it's going to happen. Do you know that young guy at Liverpool?
Which one?
It's
Rio
Ngoy. I can't.
Rio.
Okay.
Nugamora.
Rio, yes.
Something.
Let's call him Rio. Now, I don't think there's any way in hell that we could get him, but I would make a cheeky 3-month loan for Rio, and we could have him at the
Just
10.
3 months.
Well, I don't. My only worry is I think he wouldn't want to come for a whole season because he's
6 months. 6-month loan till January.
with an option.
Well,
He can go back
4
to
months.
Liverpool in a heartbeat should they want him. But that would be if he gets to the point where he thinks I'm not going to necessarily get a lot of game time in the next 3 months, then maybe we could pull off a coup and get one of these super kids from the big boys.
Let's end it in with this one. I mean, how would you sum up the window? Looking at that on screen now, Ndidi, Hermanson, Connor Cody, Casey McAteer out, just Begovic in. There's a lot of work still to be done, mate, with outgoings and incomings, isn't there? I mean, I am worried because of how I get what you're saying. These things can happen quickly. It might just be being kept quiet, but I have no doubt that they've got a Bilal replacement. They're aware of who they would target and a striker that they're interested in. But just with how slow we sometimes are with certain things, I worry that we're not going to get enough done in 9 days. 8 days now tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I can totally understand that, right? I think we've done all right this August. If you just look at this month, the problem is we didn't spend June, we didn't spend July doing anything, right? We sat on our ass, which now means we have so much slack to still pick up. We've got the cover needed for goalkeepers. That's the only position we've sorted out. I'm pleased to see the clear out has started, right? Getting Connor Cody gone, getting a great fee for Casey, but there is still, I think, too much left to be done before the window closes that it's realistic to expect it all to fall into place. But I hope we can still do a majority of it, right? Bring in 2-3 players, sell maybe
Minimum
2-3
3.
more.
Minimum 3.
And yeah, let's see.
Final words, Manny?
Minimum. If we sell fast, need a replacement centre-back, we definitely need a central midfielder. Without Wilf, those other 3 options are not enough. I think Lewis Page won't be able to, he's too young to have the burden. Striker, we've already known. All of us know we need a striker, but that's 3 players. I don't mind if they are loans, to be honest. I quite like the loan idea because you don't have to commit to that position today. We can hopefully get a good quality loan player in that will be good enough to take us up, and then we could replace it next summer, when we'll have huge amounts of room on our PSR budget. So
Yeah.
Loan fee is definitely... Last time I think we signed 3 or 4 loan players, didn't we? We got Cassidy on loan, we got Abdul on loan.
Cassidy, Atgun, Abdul Doyle.
Atgun, Doyle, yeah. So we got 4 players last time. I would love to see something similar. Get 4 players in on loan this time. Maybe 1 permanent. Max is fine with me. And keep our powder dry for January. In January it gives you more room for manoeuvre should we need to buy somebody then. But also I'm being a bit cheeky here in that I'm kind of gambling that we are going to have enough to get up the season so that we can have a huge budget for the Premier League. And I don't think all fans share my optimism at this moment.
No, definitely not. Do either of you have Cole Palmer in your FPL?
No, I took him out.
Yes, don't tell me he's not playing.
He got injured in the warm up.
I
joking.
took him out. I subbed him out this week. I'm not going to lie. This is going to sound crazy. I played my wild card in the second week already.
Oh.
No, I had
That's what
I
happens
had
to young people. Young people always
you get to the season. You get to the season. So that's why I did it already.
True. That's true.
Because I had made a decent squad. Like I was above average. But I was so pissed at myself for taking the China Rangers out late on in the window. And I just remembered as well that Cole Palmer was shit. Like I watched the Chelsea and was like, oh fuck, I forgot he's shit. Or shit in the league, right? Hasn't scored from open play since January. And I was like, okay, I can move some pieces around here if I use my wild card. I can strengthen basically every single role. I can get Haaland in as well. So now I have Haaland, Salah, and I've moved around the pieces. I think my team is now really good.
Watch out for this Esteval tonight. Oh, what a play.
I made one
starting?
change. I
think
brought
he's
in
starting.
Ekitike. I brought in. Yeah.
Ekitike. I did consider getting him in as well, but I didn't have
Already
the
had him.
funds.
Already got him.
Yeah.
I was going to say, but there's someone in the chat just say...
Esteval's
Ali.
come in, by the way, for Palmer. Esteval's come in for Palmer.
This kid is a baller. Another...
Yeah,
by the
he is
way,
a baller. He is a baller.
He's at, well, I think he's like 18 or 19.
Yeah, he just turned 18,
19.
I think, when he moved.
No experience. Straight from Brazil. Watch him come in. And
But how much did
rip
they pay
apart.
for him? I think that's what you need to realize as well, right?
I think they paid like 24 for him, and then had left
Did they
him
not
on
pay like 40? I felt like it was
I
like
thought
a
they was
crazy
like the
fee.
mid-20s, and they left him on loan for the rest of the season, or left him on loan for a year.
Pay for Let's
It's
see. A total
30
of 55 million quid.
Really?
package.
Oh, wow.
34 plus 23 in performance-based
I
incentives.
tell you what,
It
they have
says-
signed. That is a bargain. Watch how good this kid is.
I think he'll turn out to be a bargain,
Sense.
but my point with that is like that's never a realistic transfer for Leicester to get in the shape.
No,
they're
no,
in.
no.
Like
Of
it's
course
more.
not. Of course
there
not.
are the elite wonder kids who like if you spend 50 million on them, they'll still be a bargain because they are they will be world beaters.
More the point
But
of like
we
an
can't make those
18-year-old
investments.
kid can walk into the Premier League and dominate. That's just a more wider point. In
Okay,
similar
he
ways.
hasn't done. Okay, calm down. This is his first start. He played 20 minutes last
watch.
time. He's
Just
not
watch
walked
that.
in and dominated anyone
Watch.
yet, mate.
Watch that.
Yeah, I think he will dominate, but you can't sort of make that statement before
Okay,
he's
see.
really done it.
You know,
Some
come on,
people have-
Doc. We
some
like you
people
know how Thierry Small dominated the championship.
Yeah, in that
Thierry
one game.
Small's going to kick butt this year.
I
Right, we're
think
going to the-
Jerry Small is very good, yeah, but I mean, you need to see more than one game before you say
I don't need to
he's
see any more of
dominating.
Esteval. Watch Esteval tonight, everyone in the chat. Remember
He's
it
gonna
next
be
time.
good, I believe so.
This boy is a player and a
Yeah.
half.
Yep. I signed him on Football Manager in Croatia, didn't I, Doc? On
Yeah, I signed him in the one we did in the Premier League with Aston
Surely
Villa.
there's some other kid in Brazil who's not quite Esteval level, but pretty bloody good. We could get him on
course.
loan.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah,
someone.
well.
Come on, recruitment team. Find us a nice Brazilian. Not Tete. Someone better.
Our South American scout is Sean St. Ledger, and I'm not joking. That is who our South American scout is. So there we go. Right, we're going to end it
Sean
there.
B.
Thank you to everybody for watching. Thanks for everybody in the comment section. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to hit subscribe. We are back live tomorrow at 12:15. I'm going to just drag this on whilst I load up the graphic. There we go. We are live at 12:15 for the Charlton versus Leicester Match Day Live watch along, so join us for that one from 12:15, and then we'll have the instant reaction as well after the game. And yeah, big shout out to our no football content awards plug, because nominations are now closed, so we will wait and see what happens with that, and we will let people know if we get an update. And of course, go on, Manny.
If we
make
don't
it
win,
quick.
if we don't win, I'm blaming our fans. I'm gonna go Wout Faes on our fans if we don't win.
Gonna cup your ears. Just fuck up. And of course, as always, a big shout out to our sponsors, Match Bingo, because I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I will be playing along with Match Bingo, and hopefully I can win some money on there.
Just before we leave, I was gonna say, Duck, can we have a 200 grand from you today, please?
Do you want it again?
I want a Danish 200 grand.
So I said in Danish.
Yeah, go
on.
Du kan vinde 200.000 kroner.
That sounds good. That sounds good. I like that.
That sounded like Japanese or something. That didn't sound Danish.
It was.
He's just told our viewers to fuck off in Danish.
No, I told them they could win 200,000 Danish kroners, which is not true. They could win way more with Match Bingo, because 200k is about 2 mil. So
there we go. Right, Chisel. We'll see you tomorrow for the watch along. All the best, and go and watch Esteval dominate the Premier League against Mads Hermansson, who will turn into a little T-Rex again with no arms. So yeah, go and watch that. See Massive thank you to today's sponsor, Match Bingo. Over 200 grand has been paid out to players so far by taking sports betting, football and bingo and combining them into one amazing app. Make sure to get your bingo card for any Leicester City game in the upcoming season. Click that link in the description or via the QR code on screen.